Hi, this is Martin, the Honest Insurance Agent again. In this video, I'd like to talk about actual automobile insurance coverages. We've talked about how rates are figured. We've talked a little bit about claims. I'd like to talk about what coverages are in a policy. I know most people are pretty familiar with these, but I would like to go through them briefly. First of all, your policy by law has to contain bodily injury. Okay, that's the insurance that protects you in case you injure someone, including a passenger in your car, a passenger or driver in another car, God forbid a pedestrian. It's the bodily injury. It's usually written per person / per occurrence. Like in Illinois, the minimum state limit is $25,000 per person, $50,000 per occurrence. Okay, now, naturally, as an independent agent, I recommend $100,000 per person, $300,000 per occurrence. The next coverage is property damage. That's if you damage somebody else's property, another car, a wall, a post, whatever. Okay, it's also written on the thousands. Like the minimum in Illinois is $20,000. It can go up to $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. That's considered your liability coverage, your bodily injury and your property damage. It can also be written on a combined single limit, like $500,000 combined single limit for bodily injury and property damage, so that there's no minimum per person per occurrence. It gives you one large sum of money to pull from in case you injure somebody else or damage somebody else's property. Now, there's also another coverage called medical pay. Medical pay is not a coverage where you're legally obligated to carry it. Some agents don't include it in a liability-only policy. I always do. Medical covers you and your passengers if you're hurt or injured, but it's more of a convenience coverage. The real purpose, in my opinion, is to stop lawsuits from happening. So if you're taking someone for a ride and they slam their finger in the door, you can rush them to the hospital, get them x-rayed, get them some immediate care, and then cover it under your medical pay. Then there's another coverage that is legally you have to carry. It's in the insurance code. It's called uninsured motorist. Uninsured motorist is also written for bodily injury. It covers you in case you are hurt, you or your passengers, even as a pedestrian. If you're hurt or injured by another driver who has no insurance, you can then collect your injuries back from your own insurance company. Now, if you have overstate minimum coverage above the $2,550, then with uninsured, you get underinsured motorist coverage. That coverage is only available to you if you're carrying higher than minimum state limits. Underinsured motorists, just what it says. If you're hurt or injured by another person and they have insurance, but they don't have enough insurance to cover your injuries. So let's say you get hit by somebody who only has 25 and 50, but your injuries exceed that, then you can collect the excess back from your own insurance company under underinsured motorists. All those coverage together is what we call liability coverage. Your bodily injury, your property damage, your medical pay, your uninsured, and if you have higher limits, underinsured motorists. Okay, we know what's covered. What's not covered under those coverages? First of all, two family members together are not covered. In other words, if you and your wife are in two separate cars, you're following her, going out of town on a vacation, you're each taking your own cars, and one of you run into each other, you cannot claim that as an insurance claim. You're not covered. Immediate family hit each other. That's not covered.